3-3 it finished in Kansas City between Algeria and Austria. Riyad Mahrez thought he'd scored the winner for Algeria in the 3rd minute of time added on. And then right at the end, the 6th minute of time added on, it was Sasa Kaladzic who scored a really late goal to make it 3-3, scramble a draw for Austria and secure their place in the round of 32. If they'd lost the game, so if Algeria had won, then Austria would have been out. So this is how Group J finished. Argentina, 3 wins from 3, 9 points, perfect record so far. They cruised through to face Cape Verde in the round of 32, plus 7 goal difference for them. Austria clinched 2nd, 4 points from their 3 games, and Algeria on 4 points as well, but they finished 3rd because their goal difference was worse. I mean, arguably, if you detract the Messi story away from it, this was the better game in terms of the ending. It was just crazy, particularly as we were figuring out the permutations, who's going through, who's not going through. So Austria are safe. And I think, Ian, the thing I loved was the never say die attitude. They conceded a goal from Riyad Mahrez, as we said, 3rd minute of time added on. They could have easily just thought, oh, how on earth we messed this up? But they still managed to go on and score another goal.
You remember going into this game where it was mentioned that if it was a draw, both teams would qualify through, right? That was mentioned.
Yeah.
And of course, it ended in a draw. And at one point in this game, going to the 90th minute of this game, we saw Catenaccio, we saw passing and no advancement. Passing and no advancement. It's almost as if teams had shaken hand, and I even said it to you, Michael, they've already shaken hands here. They're taking the draw for Algeria to then go ahead and get that go-ahead goal. And then to have 2 goals in stoppage time of a second half. It's the first time ever in the World Cup it's ever happened, which is remarkable. So you would have probably put money on it being a draw. So if you did, congratulations, because you hit it, but you also had a heart attack while you were trying to get there. Kaladzic, who actually scored the equalising goal for Austria, he touched the ball 2 times. He came off the bench to score that goal. And this was one for the history books. It was a brilliant game. And while everyone's watching Lionel Messi, this was actually quietly the most entertaining game that we've seen today. And it might even be one of the more entertaining games that we've seen in this FIFA group stage. Great result, great story, and a fabulous, fabulous ending.
And I think it was, this momentum chart tells the story, and we were watching the game here in the studio, one that just ebbed and flowed more than almost any game we've seen so far at the World Cup. 1 minute it was Austria attacking, then it was Algeria, then it was Austria, then it was Algeria. It was a game where both teams brought a brilliant level and a terrible level at the same time, didn't they?
Yeah, look, it's not going to win any awards for best defensive output or defensive showing in a FIFA World Cup match ever, because there are a lot of mistakes that were made, but there are a lot of good offensive plays. And for Algeria, I just love what I saw from Riyad Mahrez. And one player that gets overlooked in this, because Mahrez gets the goal, I think he becomes the 2nd oldest player, African player, to score a brace at a World Cup, behind the great Roger Milla, who did it in 1990. But it was Houssem Aouar. Remember him? The former Roma player, played at Lyon. Well, he showed that he's still alive. He's doing well. I know he plays club football in Saudi. But there's talent in this Algerian side that Vladimir Petkovic has at his disposal.
Oh, yeah.
You had said that Ibrahim Massa had been missing in action. We finally saw him in the second half.
Finally.
And we finally saw some of that brilliance. But here's my concern for an Algeria side that have the attacking pieces, but defensively, yet again, even at the Africa Cup of Nations, we saw some of the goals they could score, but you just cannot concede that late. I don't care if you're Rami Bensebaini, who should do better on that goal, mind you, Ian.
Sure.
We've seen this before in the Bundesliga for Borussia Dortmund. And look, you punch your ticket in, you get to the knockout round, 2nd time ever in your national team history that you get to the knockout round. But man, what a win, what a victory that would have been.
Do you know, I'm hearing from my wonderful statistician behind the scenes, Amelia. She says that Austria had 14% possession of the ball in the final 15 minutes of that game, which tells you that they were both settling for the draw there. Yeah. So to actually see a team score a goal, it is remarkable to me. And I thought Austria had gone from that position where they knew they were going through to all of a sudden complete dejection. You see it in their supporters' faces. They're going out. I mean, they're going out, which is insane to think that they can find a way to get that equalising goal. I love football. This is why I love the game, man. I love the stories. I love the fact that Kaladzic came off the bench and his only job was, please rescue us, and he did exactly that. Even the goal in itself, I know obviously Bensebaini should do so much better, but sometimes it's just quality, right? This FIFA World Cup, we are seeing a lot of nations that don't get spoken about too much, getting so many flowers now for what they've given us. It's either the supporters who've really stood out, it's either the coaches who look stylish, or their players and performance and actual attitude in World Cup games. And this was a game that gave us a gift. This was a beautiful performance from two teams that knew a draw sees you both through. They both played to win until the final, 15 minutes of the game where they were shaking hands. How on earth? Like, if I was in that position and Algeria had scored, I'd have taken a red card. Yeah. I'd have smashed someone for actually allowing them to score, or for the fact that they decided to cheat us a little bit and go for the goal. Because I thought we had an agreement here. You keep the ball in your half and we both go through. For you to score and for us to go out of the World Cup, I would have lost my head. So the fact that they got a goal back, I think, was probably a bit justified.
And it's Iran who lose out, so they drop outside of the top 8, as you can see there. Senegal are the final team in with 3 points from their 3 games and a +2 goal difference. It is Iran who finished 9th in that table, so they are going home, sadly.